If you haven't heard, Shannon Sharpe is leaving Undisputed. He's leaving FS1 and Fox Sports all together. And this is what they had to say about it. This comes from NBC Sports. Via Ryan Glass-Steagall of the New York Post, Shannon Sharpe and Fox Sports have reached a buyout. This will result in Sharpe leaving the show and the network. His podcast, Club Shay Shay, will also be leaving Fox. Now, the reason for Sharpe leaving at this moment is unclear, but apparently he'll only be there through the duration of the NBA Finals. After that, they will disperse. Glass-Steagall goes on to bring up when DeMar Hamlin got injured, and then Skip had those insensitive tweets that he put out there that everybody was mad at, and then he doubled down and said, I'm not going to apologize for my tweets nor take them down, and Shannon Sharpe took a day off work and protest, and then they argued about it after that too, and they came to a stalemate. They just disagreed on it. Skip was wrong, but he didn't want to admit it. And then you had the other time where Skip just totally disrespected Shannon Sharpe about the Tom Brady incident, because Shannon Sharpe was saying Tom Brady was not playing well, and it was the truth, and Skip didn't like it, so he just called him jealous. Oh, he was way better than you. And Shannon, like, I'm a Hall of Famer too. I did a video on this. Please go check it out. It's ridiculous when you watch it play out in real time. And at that point when that happened, I said that it's time for Shannon Sharpe to go. I said I think he is going to be actively considering leaving the show after this, because it's hard to sit with somebody where you thought you had a friend, and then turns out they not your friend, and then they, do you real dirty in the process in front of everybody. It's like, it's hard to sit there and come and smile with somebody after that. And plus, what I said in that video was also, Shannon Sharpe is the show. Have you ever watched Skip Bayless' show by himself, his podcast? It is terrible. Skip, he works hard. He's a very hard worker. He does his research. He comes ready with his points made. But he in voicing those points, he's very boring. And Shannon Sharpe is very lively, country. He talk, like black folk can understand. He stand up for black folk when black issues are going down. He makes it palatable and entertaining for a plethora of people. You don't even have to like sports to really enjoy Shannon talking about sports. And the numbers speak for itself on this. Club Shay Shay, 1.18 million subscribers with just under 227 million viewers. Skip Bayless Show, 148,000 subscribers with just under 17 million views. So, now granted, two different formats. Skip is talking sports by itself, while Shannon is doing interviews with other entertainers. So it's two different ways, but you can tell still who's more entertaining. And so I said at that time that he should be leaving anyway. Like, do your own thing, realize your worth. You are the show. And so it's no reason that you should feel like you need to be tied down to Skip Bayless. But he stayed for that moment, I guess. And I guess he was cerebrally, but he was being cerebral about figuring out the correct way to break all of this off. And here we have this now. He's leaving the show. He's going to take his show with him, Club Shay Shay, and go from there. And I think FS1 and Undisputed is going to suffer greatly trying to find somebody to replace Shannon Sharpe, because there is no one. I've said it before, and I said it in that video. Shannon Sharpe is the best in sports analyst, journalist, whatever you want to call it. I know they gave Stephen A. Smith that bag, but Shannon Sharpe is the guy. I don't care what you're talking about. Anybody that you can name, they all do a great job. But nobody is as prepared and as entertaining as Shannon Sharpe is. And it's just the bottom line. Now, you can hate his takes on LeBron if you're a Bron hater, but whether you was a LeBron fan or a Bron hater, it still worked for the show because Skip was a Bron hater. So that class helped you watch it either way. But I'm talking about as far as getting the job done and doing a great job at it, he is the guy. So they just lost greatly by him leaving that show. But it was time, because Skip seems to think he is the end-all be-all or something. Like, you can't be wrong, but it is what it is. Sometimes it just makes you realize when people have this stubborn way about themselves, sometimes just time for you to get away from them. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm glad Shannon is realizing that, because it's a plethora of people that you can place in front of Shannon and have great conversations, great arguments, great debates about sports. And it'll be way more entertaining than the ones that he had with Skip. Even though I enjoyed him and Skip back and forth, I'm just saying it's way easier to replace Skip than it is to replace Shannon. And so they're going to feel a blow on this one. And some Dreamers Pro suggested that they might even be ending Undisputed altogether. Who knows? I don't know which way Shannon is going to move with this, though, because, listen, some people, it works better for them to work for somebody. But Shannon does have all the cards in his lap to be his own boss if he wanted to. He could very well go search for somebody to be his opposite and do his own thing on his own platform. Now, one thing Dreamers Pro brought up was that Club Shay Shay is filmed on Fox Studios lot as well. But I don't think that's a big problem for Shannon. Like, I believe whatever big home that Shannon is staying in right now would probably have a living room just as comparable to that set that was up there. Or it wouldn't be that hard to duplicate if he still wanted to do production outside of his home. There's not much to it. It was some couches, it was chairs, it was a nice little living room type setup with a fireplace. That can be duplicated easily if he wants to be entrepreneurial about it and go continue the show on his own. Because he very well can just continue on his own. But some people, like you say, some people enjoy not having to worry about all that extra as far as ownership and just want to work for somebody. So, he could be looking at going to link at, create a show at ESPN or whatever. But whatever it needs to be centered around him. I just want to suggest that, Shannon, if you are thinking about going to work at ESPN, this, that, and that, don't go in there and let them bring you in as like a third person or fourth person on a panel to be kind of chiming in here and there. No, we need to be hearing from Sharp at all times. And I'm going to say, man, the one time I was disappointed in you, I wasn't disappointed that you apologized over the Ja Morant situation on the court where y'all almost fought, but I was disappointed that at the lengths you kept going to apologize, and all the different people you apologized to in order to keep that job, which you are now separating yourself from. Which I said then and I said now, it was all of that extra. You apologize to the people in the snacks, in the concession stand. I'm just messing with you, but you know what I'm saying, bro? I felt like you went way over and above in your apologies to all these different entities and people to keep your job, where it was like, yo, I just was wondering, did he realize who he was? And sometimes as people, I don't think we do realize who we are and what we bring to other people's situations, to other people's jobs, to other people's businesses. And it's hard for us to let the separation happen when it needs to happen. Sometimes we overstay our welcome. We stay way longer than the season that God has planted us to be there. And we draw it out where it was like, hey, when that happened the first time, you were supposed to be gone. It was time for you to break off and find your new season at a new place or on your own. I'm guilty of this. So many people that I know are guilty of this. You get complacent. You get used to the situation. You think it's the right situation for you. And you continue to dwell in that situation, even though it's not doing you, it's not giving you it's not living up to what it should be living up to for you. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody else is benefiting, but you. And sometimes maybe you are benefiting, but sometimes it's just the season is over. Sometimes it's time for you to take the next step and move into the next realm of what your blessings are around that corner. But you will never get to that if you don't go around that corner. You understand what I'm saying? It's a really weird place to be. I know it too well to find yourself in a rut in life, and you in this situation, and it's just comfortable to stay there. But sometimes you got to gather yourself, get your thoughts together, get your feet together, like Tony Baker say, and stand up and make a move. And I'm glad that Shannon Sharpe is standing up and making a move right here, because I do not think he was valued by Skip like he should have been. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't got to be about no revenge. It's just sometimes you just, okay, man, you don't value me, I'm gonna go on over. Go where you are celebrated and not tolerated. And I'm telling you, you will start to make beautiful moves in your life for doing so. But this your boy Pete Camp. Tell me what you think about Shannon Sharpe making this move, and what's gonna happen each way. What it's gonna look like for Skip or Shannon. It's your boy Pete Camp. Get at your boy.